Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Abrew About Nothing. And this week we're heading to Modern to play some Blood Moon, but this isn't just any old Blood Moon deck. This is Blood Moon Surprise. So let's talk about the deck and what the surprise actually is. Jump into a Modern League and see it in action. All right, so here's our Blood Moon Surprise deck, and we're built around, of course, Blood Moon. Blood Moon, oh my god, one of my favorite cards of all time. Then Banner Monogon. In Blood Moon's kind of on the upswing in Modern right now because of the Lurrus banning. Not only did getting rid of Lurrus mean you can play cards like Blood Moon that cost 3 mana and more decks, but because Lurrus is banned, we've gotten to see the rise of decks like Amulet Titan, Tron is back, Money Pile, Yarion, 4 or 5 color piles. Those are really popular. So Blood Moon actually lines up really well with a lot of the most played decks in the meta. However, there is a little bit of a problem, which is Blood Moon not as likely to stick around forever as it used to be, thanks to cards like Beseju, Assassin's Trophy, Force of Vigor. Pretty much every deck has ways, sometimes in the main deck, to kill a Blood Moon. So it's really a temporary solution at this point, but still a very powerful one. And then when you look at the rest of the deck, it looks like typical Gruul Blood Moon stuff. We got Arbalf and Utopia Sprawl to ramp into Blood Moon on turn 2. We got some good Planeswalker, Chandra, Ren, really helpful with our fetch land plan. We need fetch lands to fetch out our basics so we don't get got by our own Blood Moon. We have Fury as removal, which is just proven to be a really good card in Modern. Seasoned Pyromancer, Fable of Mirror Breaker, good for filtering through our deck. If we got too many Blood Moons, we can discard them. If we don't have enough Blood Moons, we can dig for them. So everything we've talked about so far, you would see in a typical Gruul Blood Moon deck. So you're probably wondering, what's the surprise of the deck? And the surprise of the deck is we're actually sort of enjoined for Persist in Archon of Cruelty. Since we have Seasoned Pyromancer and Fable of the Mirror Breaker, both of which are really good at filling our graveyard, we can run this reanimation package and play Archon of Cruelty, cheat it into play with Persist, and have a really fast way to close out the game. And I mentioned earlier, one of the issues with Blood Moon right now is more than ever, it's a temporary way to lock the opponent. It's a soft lock more than a hard lock because of all the answers Wizards has printed for it. So you really need to have a fast clock to close out the game. Gone are the days when you can jam a Blood Moon and expect the game to go like 10 or 15 turns and eventually you find a way to kill your opponent. That's not how Blood Moon works anymore. You want a Blood Moon to slow your opponent down for 3, 4, 5 turns while they dig for an answer, and then in those turns, while your opponent's trying to find a way out from under the Blood Moon, kill your opponent. That's where Archon comes in. We can just persist the Archon, kill our opponent in a couple of attacks, essentially, while also making them sack stuff and gaining life and drawing cards. And the thing I love about this deck, apart from having a fast clock to work with our Blood Moon plan, is we don't really need the reanimation plan. Like, we can just win like a fair mid-range Blood Moon deck, but we also have the option of reanimating an Archon or reanimating a Seasoned Pyromancer to draw more cards, whatever. There's all Fury for more removal. There's all kind of shenanigans there. So we have the option, but we don't need our graveyard. So if our opponent brings in a bunch of graveyard hate, whatever, we can just play our Seasoned Pyromancers and Furies and Chandras and Blood Moons and win that way. And in some cases, we can even ramp into the Archon with Arbalf and Utopia Sprawl. Mana base, there's a cost to playing Blood Moon in a 3-color deck, which is we need a lot of basics, we need a lot of fetch lands. You can see only 3 total shock lands. So sometimes we get clunky mana draws, but again, Ren getting back fetch lands helps there. Sideboard, bunch of answers for artifacts and enchantment, a little bit of hate for discard and counter spells and Veil of Summer, some graveyard hate, some removal, a Garruk Relentless for some reason, and that is Blood Moon Surprise for Modern. That's our Much Abrew deck for this week. So let's jump into a league and see. Is a surprise Archon of Cruelty reanimation package the way to make Blood Moon work in a Modern format where there's a ton of answers to Blood Moon, but it's really well positioned against a lot of decks? Let's find out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit with a wrap up. Need some new Kamigawa Neon Dynasty cards? Well, you can get them from our amazing sponsor, Card Kingdom, by heading over to cardkingdom.com/MTGGoldfish and even get a free goldfish sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes, and they'll hook you up. Much Brew About Nothing time. We are Blood Mooning and reanimating in Modern this week, and Sam looks pretty good. Turn 1 ramp. Turn 2 Seasoned Pyromancer, discard the Archon, see if we can find a way to reanimate it. Like, yeah. And then we always have the possibility of drawing a Blood Moon. I think we're going to lead on Utopia Sprawl. Less explosive, but we don't care about getting to 4 mana next turn. We care about making sure we're at 3 mana. So I think we're better off leading on Utopia Sprawl. Prismatic Vesta, crack Prismatic Vesta, grab a Forest, and Utopia Sprawl. This is actually kind of interesting. We could just put it on green and just run out Arbor Elf Utopia Sprawl next turn and wait. Let's do, you know what? I think we're actually gonna do that. It's a little weird. I think we're gonna wait a turn on the Pyromancer because with 2 Utopia Sprawls and an Arbor Elf, if our opponent can't interact, there is a world where we just like hard cast this Archon on turn 3 rather than discarding it and trying to find reanimation. Oh boy, show us a Blood Moon. Show us the Blood Moon. About it, Tron, Chromatic Star, so traditional Tron. We gotta find the Blood Moon quick. Passes, we draw Forest, Utopia Sprawl on red, Arbor Elf, Blood Crypt tapped, go. Well, now goal 1 is finding Blood Moon before we lose. Archon's sweet, but doesn't necessarily let us beat Tron. Opponent is afraid that we're on Ponza. Mention in the chat. Little do they know we aren't. We do have Blood Moons, but we're not Ponza. All right, there's the mine. So that means Tron's coming next turn. This would be a good time to draw Blood Moon. Ren. Well, tap. Untap. Tap. Season Pyromancer. Oh, we really need to hit Blood Moon right now. Discard, discard. Ren. Get back a land. Play the land. Pass the turn. Oh no! What a sweet start for our deck, but none of this stops our opponent from just playing a Karn or something. Oh, couldn't find the Blood Moon. Found it. Untaps. Power plant? I mean, I assume they have it. We'll see. Cracks for green. Well, that's a tiny bit of good news. This does mean our opponent doesn't have the full 7 mana this turn. Well, no Tron yet. I mean, maybe Archon can carry. Archon is big enough that Ugin doesn't easily get it at least. Still would feel better if we drew a Blood Moon. Much better. Opponent. Just passing. All right, well, crack this, then the deck. Get a swamp. Well, looks like it's Archon time unless we draw Blood Moon. Prismatic Vesta. Well, tap. Untap. Tap, tap, tap. I guess we should thin the deck first, right? Yeah, all right, so let's get back Prismatic Vesta. Play it, crack it, thin the deck. I guess it really doesn't matter. Get a mountain. Archon of Cruelty. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, Archon's a very strong card. The opponent's got to discard and lose life. We get to draw and gain life. And this is something that survives Ugin, which is big. Ugin doesn't have enough loyalty to just exile it. Wow, another one. All right, we'll go to combat. Hit ya. Opponent pitches a Karn. That's always scary. Well, hit you a little bit. Down to 14. I mean, that was turn 4 hardcasting Archon. And we could have actually done it a turn earlier if we weren't trying to play around Tron. The deck can make some manas. Wow, okay. Well, we will take it. We will not complain about our Tron opponent not drawing Tron. We might complain a little about our sideboard. Bring in the Ancient Grudges, go down the Furies. The Furies don't seem great. Really, when it comes down to it, I mean, it's all about the Blood Moons. Or just hardcasting Archons on turn 3. Either one will do. But really, we want to see Blood Moon. That's a big one. Blood Moon plus a clock. That's what we want. Stack is kind of funny. You do not expect random Archons out of a Blood Moony mid-range deck. Opponent's keeping 7. We don't have a Blood Moon. So this is ramp into Ren into Chandra. That doesn't really beat Tron. All right. Well, this we keep. We put a Unholy Heat. We need a land. We got an Arbor Elf. We got a Blood Moon. Do we find another land? Opponent. Expedition map. Well, that is a land. Vern Catacombs. Crack it for a forest. And Arbor Elf. Yeah. We actually still kind of want one more land. Because we're not going to have the double red for this season, Pyromancer. Is mine. All right, so opponent, gonna get Tron, I assume. Yeah, there's the tower. Well, we do have the Blood Moon, so it's not just over by any stretch. Well, Wooded Foothills, crack it. Get a Blood Crypt. Blood Crypt untapped. Hitting another land's nice. Tap, untap. Save us, Blood Moon. Now, our next goal is to kill our opponent as quickly as possible because they will draw out of this eventually. Blood Moon, you go. They also likely have Beseiju they can tutor up. So I'm glad they use their expedition map, or that could have been a real issue. All right, Tron assembled. Mountain Tron. This is the kind of Tron I can get behind. Chromatic Sphere. Cracks for green. Chromatic Sphere. We untap. Oh, this is so frightening. The question is, what do we do here? We want to get a clock on the battlefield. The problem is, opponent has green mana. So they can end of turn Chromatic Sphere, blow up our Blood Moon. And then they're potentially just off to the races. I really want to get down the Chandra though. It's actually like a really, really, really tough question. Because from this position, there's two ways we lose. One is our opponent blows up Blood Moon, plays something big, we can't deal with it, we lose. The other is we don't get a clock going and our opponent gets to the point they can just hardcast their big stuff. That is another way we can lose. I think we're going to play the Blood Moon, in part because we have Ancient Grudge. So if our opponent plays 4 mana Karn, we don't get locked under Liquid Metal Coating. So I think it's worth it to just make sure Blood Moon's going to stick. We also have potential if we hit a land. Next turn we could Chandra, pick up Seasoned Pyromancer, discard the Ancient Grudge, make a token, get this in the graveyard, and then we're in pretty sweet shape. All right, well, now it's clock time. Now it's, can we kill our opponent before they start hardcasting their stuff? Opponent, Chromatic Sphere, makes green, draws a card. 2 Blood Moons is better than 1, though, against Tron. They really can't afford to play Force of Vigor because they just don't have enough green cards. Well, I don't know. I don't think they normally can play it. All right, Chromatic Star, that's not the most threatening, although it is more redraws and more green mana. Plays the star. So our best draw is actually just a land. A land would be great. Oh, Blood Moon. I miss Blood Moon versus Tron. It's good to have Blood Moon back because it is pretty sweet against Tron. Opponent trying to figure out what they're going to do. Opponent's going to pass. All right, come on, land. Utopia Sprawl. Well, all right, so we can tap that. We can play Utopia Sprawl on, I guess, black. Untap. Chandra. Opponent also missed their land drop. Yeah, just take up, hit you. Another Blood Moon. Pass the turn. Opponent's down to 17. I mean, that's a bit of a clock. Opponent untaps. Opponent missing the land drop makes me feel a little bit better. Maybe we're good. Maybe we're good. Maybe we're Blood Mooning Tron. Oh my God, opponent passing. Tron is a pretty land-light deck just because they trust that they're going to get there with, well, okay, Utopia Sprawl. On black. Take up Chandra. Hit you for 2. Seasoned Pyromancer. Draw some cards. Go to combat. Okay, our clock's sort of increasing. Play the land, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Hold Blood Moons, hold. Gonna make green, draw a card. Yeah, this is like the Blood Moon Dream, where opponent, they had Tron, but they only had exactly 3 lands. So they just really aren't functioning very well with mountains. Opponent's not a mountain fan. Mountain Tron. Oh, opponent. Another Tron land. Well, now Archon might be our best draw. We have the mana just to hard cast it. All right, Nature's claims a Blood Moon. Well, there goes one of them. That is a little scary. Opponent. Expedition map. Okay. I mean, this can probably get our opponent out from under the Blood Moons. It might mean we're at risk of just dying. Beseiju? Yeah, it's Beseiju. All right, deck. All right. Opponent passes. We draw a land. Well, take up Chandra. Another Blood Moon, maybe? The last one? Oh, we can't cast it, can we? Oh, we can't. Oh, no. Well, yeah, that doesn't work. I wonder if we should be... Boy, that's the second time that's happened. I wonder if we should be tapping and untapping our mana ahead of time. It feels very strange, but maybe we should. All right, pass the turn, see what happens. Opponent untaps. They need to go green mana, blow up Beseiju Ugin, I think. Or else we should get there with our Chandras. Opponent. Relic. Okay, that's not green mana, that's fine. If our opponent has to spend a bunch of mana to get the green mana, then we're good. Because we should be able to kill him next turn. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, Arbor Elf is awkward with Chandra just because of how the casting works. You don't have the ability to like cast it later in the turn, and this is not a mana ability. So you can't activate this mid-Chandra casting. So if you gotta use it, you gotta do it beforehand, but you don't really wanna like, what if you don't land or something? Then you're doing all this for nothing and wasting your mana and wasting your Arbor Elf. Really weird pseudo like anti-synergy, I guess. But like a Birds of Paradise works fine because Birds of Paradise is a mana ability. So you can activate it mid-casting. That's why you can cast Archon. All right. Death, maybe? Death to Tron? We will accept Death to Tron. Oh, wow, plays the Beseiju. That's not exactly what we were worried about, but okay. Opponent decides they want another mountain. I figured they were tutoring this up to kill the Blood Moon, but playing it into the Blood Moon is another legal play. I'm feeling a little more confident at the moment with how this is going, that maybe we're good. Oh, we got the GGs. Thank goodness. Oh, Blood Moon versus Trond. That's a classic matchup. Always scary because you're worried they're gonna draw out of it, but it held up this time when we got there. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are Blood Moon reanimating. Playing some, I guess Jund Reanimator is probably the best thing to call. Oh boy. Well, hopefully we find a persist. I think Archon is probably our pathway to victory. Ooh, Fury. That's interesting. What if fails? Crack it. Forest. Arbor Elf. Go. Fury is not bad, although I'd like to get more value out of it. We can pitch one of the Wrens if we have to, but hopefully they play like an Eidolon or a Goblin Guide. If we can get 2 creatures with it, it goes way up in value. But our main goal is going to be getting down a Archon to gain life, down to 17, skewering our Arbor Elf. Okay, sure. Opponent passes. Ugh, this is a little awkward. Actually, a lot awkward, because we're going to have to fetch out a duel now. I mean, I guess it's Blood Crypt down to 14. Wren. Get back a Wooded Foothills. This feels bad, but I think it's worth it. Fury, kill the Swift Spear. Our opponent did miss a land drop, so getting rid of that seems like it has value. Next turn, we can Season Pyromancer, and then we're just really hoping we find a persist. All right, opponent finds a land, cracks the land. Deck has a lot of weird mana requirements just with the Blood Moon. Like, what you fetch out is actually pretty important. Yes, Life Gain's going to be essential, I think, to us having a shot here. There's the Eidolon. Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Mountain. Oh, this hurts a bit. Season Pyromancer. Ouch, down to 11. Discard. Persist? No. Well, get back a land. Oh, yeah, that's bad. We're just taking so much damage. If I had known our opponent was going to draw multiple lands, definitely would have held on to the Fury longer. Searing Blaze. That's a good reason to draw land down to 8. Yeah, we are dying. Oh, I guess it's draw persist. Maybe we should have kept holding on to the Fury? Oh, I don't know. It would have went better if we did. At the time, though, it felt like, skewer too. At the time, it felt necessary, but with the benefit of hindsight, maybe we were better off waiting. Gonna go attacking, interesting. Well, we do like that. Getting rid of this Eidolon does help, because it lets us, well, we'll see. There's the Fury. Well, get back a land. Season Pyromancer. Discard. Yeah, all right. Down to 4, get a Forest. Arbor Elf. I mean, I'm assuming we're just dead since our opponent gave up their Eidolon, but we'll see. Any 2 burn spells does it. We gotta hope they're on the creature plan. Lava Spike to 1. All right, so opponent's just rubbing it in, I guess. You do you, burn player. You do you. So we can bring in a couple Unholy Heats, I guess. Go down a couple Blood Moons. Yeah, we'll bring in a Garruk for a Blood Moon, I guess. Our deck does not actually have much for burn. Like, we're really committed to try and get down the Archon, I guess. Like, that's our life gain. Well, we're on the play, which is good. Opponent was on the play last game, and then kind of drew their lands right on cue, which is unfortunate. It's a good feeling when you're the 1 land, 1 key player, though, and then you go land. Yeah, one part of this deck I'm not sold on, like at all, is the sideboard. So it seems very geared towards trying to deal with Urza's Saga, I guess, and Graveyard Hate, but we have like 6 artifact/enchantment destruction spells, 2 removal spells. So we have artifact and enchantment hate, a little bit of creature hate, a playset of Graveyard Hate, a playset of counter hate, and then a random Garruk, which is cool. I like Garruk. Garruk Reels is a sweet planeswalker. Not really sure its specific role. I guess good against small creature decks if you can shoot something down. I do wonder if we could have a sideboard that was more relevant in more matchups. Well, this we're keeping. We need 1 more source of mana. We basically need a red source. We need Prismatic Festa, Utopia Sprawl on red. We have Archon. We have Persist. We have the Pyromancer to discard it. We just need a second red source for the Season Pyromancer, and this is kind of the dream, really. Well, Forest and Utopia Sprawl on red, and go. Unholy, it's not bad. That can snipe a something in the early game. Arid Mesa. And it cracks the Arid Mesa. How about a Goblin Guide? Showing us a land. Rift Bolt suspended. Oh boy. Okay, that is the downside to the Blood Moon mana base, is we have more basics than normal. Second swamp, not exactly what we were looking for. All right, down to 16. Red mana, Inspiring Vantage, and passing. Okay, this sort of works. Fable the Mirror Breaker. It's not red mana, but, well, not necessarily red mana. It could attack, but it is going to let us discard the Archon next turn. All right, Boros turn to 12. Sunbaked Canyon. Searing Blaze down to 9. Well, go Archon. Opponent passes. We will discard Archon. And what? Ooh, do we even want the Unholy Heat? I don't even know if we want the Unholy Heat anymore. Let's discard the Unholy Heat. Archon, Unholy Heat. Or maybe we should keep Unholy Heat. Yeah, we're going to discard it. All right, so we draw Persist. So we get to persist the Archon, gain some life, back up to 12. Oh, all right, that helps. That definitely helps. See what we draw. Opponent's got a discard too, which is also helpful. Archon's like, if we can get it down, it's really good against our opponent's deck. It's just so much value. So much value. And the life gain too. Opponent discards a land. Wooded Foothills. Crack it for a mountain. Seasoned Pyromancer. I think we hold on to the Persist and just discard Utopia Sprawl land. All right, pass the turn. With 2 cards in hand, I don't think our opponent can burn us out from 11 very easily. And if they can't deal with this Archon, that's 3 more life each turn. That's undoing an entire Lightning Bolt each turn. How about it? Passes. All right, well, flip the Saga. Go to combat. They could have a way to prevent the life gain. All right, Lightning Bolt's Archon. Why are they going to kill the Archon? Oh, okay, well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But unfortunately for our opponent, we have another Persist. Get it and hit ya. Ren. Actually, let's Chandra. Take up for mana. Persist Archon again. And I mean, this should be Scoop's time. Get the last card and opponent. Yeah. Archon, good enough. Good enough, good enough. Well, all right, that was sweet. I mean, you can see, like, one of the things I love about this deck, and I've played so many Blood Moon decks, and we've talked about this many times in the past, but one of the things I love about this deck is that the challenge of Blood Moon decks is you got to be able to close out the game. You got to be able to close out the game, as well as sticking your Blood Moon. Just sticking a Blood Moon is not good enough. A lot of people don't realize that when they first start playing Blood Moon decks. But it is very much the case that you need to be able to have the clock to back it up, or your opponent will just draw out of it eventually. Like, even a deck like Tron, eventually they're going to hit their land drops, and they'll just cast a Karn with 7 mountains or whatever. Like, that's a thing that happens. Oh, there's upside to this hand. Is there enough upside? The problem with this hand is it just gets run over by a 1-drop and run the draw. So we're turn 1 Utopia Sprawl, turn 2 Ren. You know what? We're gonna keep it. I don't know. This is right on the fence. Arid Mesa. Definitely worried about a 1-drop creature though. Lava Spike. Well, at least it's not a creature. Verdant Catacombs. Crag Verdant Catacombs. Get a forest. Utopia Sprawl. On, I guess red's the highest upside. Red lets us play a Seasoned Pyromancer next turn if we draw it, which would be pretty sweet. Arid Mesa. The natural state can deal with Eidolon, which is somewhat helpful. Down to 13. Opponent passing. We draw Seasoned Pyromancer right on time. I'll play a mountain. Seasoned Pyromancer. Discard. Mountain. Maybe just both lands? We don't get a token though. Yeah, mountain. Discard the 2 lands. Pass the turn. Because we get to run back a land anyway. Opponent cracks. Sacred Foundry, tapped. Well, we got to find the Archon. That is the TLDR. Sacred Foundry, untapped. All right, gonna sear our Pyromancer away. All right, and there's a Goblin Guide. Ugh, so we're dropping to 8. All right, deck, show us something good. Top card is more Arbor Elves. Not great. So we drop to 8. We play Ren. Ooh, not feeling good. Get back a Verdant Catacombs. Ooh, play Verdant Catacombs. Crag Verdant Catacombs. Down to 7. Get a forest. Playing Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. Oh, Boros turn plus Lightning Bolt does do it. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks, I assume. Top card. is a Utopia Sprawl. Well, we will kill the Goblin Guide. You never know. Last time we were dead and our opponent cast their spells really slowly. Normally when your opponent takes a while to cast a spell, it makes you think, oh, maybe we're good because they're thinking about something. But, oh, that's awkward. But that's not necessarily the case. Utopia Sprawl on black. Ren. Get back Blood Crypt. Arbor Elf. Blood Crypt. Yo. Well, now I think we got a hard cast in Archon. Opponent passes. Oh, Archon. Natural state. These natural states are not looking great. Get back a mountain. The Sanctifier is pretty good for our opponent. Being able to even just persist the Seasoned Pyromancer would have been helpful. Well, we will pass the turn. I'm feeling a little dead, though. Boros Charms to 1. Opponent's going to have a pretty bad hand for us not to be dead. Lightning Helix. So much mana, so little to do with it. Well, I guess we weren't going to draw anything for a few million years. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are mulliganing away 3 Archons of Cruelty. This will keep. This we like. This is a turn 2 Blood Moon, and so we will keep this. The question is, when are we putting to the bottom? I think there's an argument for Arbor Elf, honestly. Or maybe Ren. Ren gets pretty bad. Yeah, maybe it's Ren. Yeah, we're going to keep. We're just going to put Ren to the bottom. Ren gets pretty bad once Blood Moon's out, because we're not getting lands in and out of the graveyard. So we will Forest Utopia Sprawl on red. Well, let's see. Let's see if turn 2 Blood Moon on the play. Is it good in 2022 Modern? Hopefully you don't get thought seized or countered. Opponent. Show us a Primeval Titan deck. Basic Plains. Okay. Ornithopter. Oh dear. All right. Well, sweet Jesus. Okay. Well, I think we're dead. Oh, lordy. We will crack this. Yeah, this is not a matchup where our Blood Moon's gonna do much, is it? If they have a hammer, we have a lot of sideboard cards for this matchup, though. I mean, we probably should get a dual land. If they do their thing, we're gonna die anyway. All right, Stomping Ground untapped. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. All right, no hammers, please. No hammers. Urza Saga. Well, our Blood Moon is good against that in specific. Opponent goes to combat. No attacks. Okay, this makes me feel slightly better. We will discard 2 Arbor Elves, I think. Prismatic Vesta, crack Prismatic Vesta. Get a Swamp. Blood Moon. Go to combat. Attack, make a treasure. Opponent. All right, down to 18. Getting rid of the Urza Saga is big. We're still kind of at the mercy of our opponent top decking a hammer at the moment, but gets in for 1. Did they draw a hammer? Hopefully not. Ooh, okay, no hammer. Ink Moth as a mountain. Ooh, a Fury. That's spicy. Well, flip the Saga. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hardcast a Fury. Maybe we're good. Sweep the board. Hit you with the Goblin. Oh, wow. Well, now our opponent needs an answer. They're kind of just locked. Because Reflections of Kiki-Jiki can just keep copying this Fury, which is going to just... Oh, opponent had such a scary start, too, with the creatures into Sigarda's aid, but they didn't have the hammer to back it up. And oh, we got there. Well, now, the good news is we have 8 sideboard cards. Many sideboard cards. The question is, how do we make all these cards fit? How do we make them fit? So we can go down to Chandra. We can probably trim a Ren. Trim a Blood Moon. I do like Blood Moon answering Urza's Saga. That is an upside. And Ink Moth to a lesser extent. So there is a bit of... Maybe we go 2 Blood Moons. Maybe we should just cut them all. Now we have all these natural states that can also deal with Urza's Saga. And Holy Heat's probably necessary. Maybe we get on 1 Fable. 1 Blood Moon. 1 Blood Moon. Just 1. And 1 more Ren. Let's go like that, I think. All the answers are in. We got a ton of ways to blow up artifacts and enchantments. Whether or not it'll be enough. Ooh. Sand would have been sweet if we had a green source rather than a mountain. So we got a mulligan. This sand's sketchy, but we're going to keep it. All right. Well, come on. Things we can do earlier in the game. Opponent's also mulliganing. We got our 1 Blood Moon. Our best draw is any of our 1-drops, especially a Mana Dork, but we'll take any of our early game plays. Planes for our opponent and Sigarda's aid. And an Ornithopter. Wooded Foothills go. Unholy Heat that is one of our 1-drops. If our opponent tries to put the hammer on it, we can kill it. Esper Sentinel, okay. And Inkmoth Nexus. Opponent goes to combat. New attacks. Well, all right, so we will untap. Verdant Catacombs. Pass the turn. I mean, so we're just on hammer defense for the moment. Opponent untaps. Hits us for 1. We will take it. Down to 19. Well, crack Wooded Foothills. Grab a Stomping Grounds. Tapped. Untapped. Untap. Prismatic Vesta. We're still going to wait one more turn. I really don't want to risk losing to a hammer off the top. If we can avoid it, that seems foolish. Gets in to hit us. Sure. Down to 17. Another Esper Sentinel. Crack Verdant Catacombs. Blood Crypt. Tapped. Crack Prismatic Vesta. Forest. Untap. Natural Straight's not bad. I think we're going to wait another turn on it, though. I think we're going to Prismatic Vesta. Season. Crack Prismatic Vesta. Get a Mountain. Season Pyromancer. Discard Blood Moon. Discard Chandra. Pass the turn. Oh, there's the Archon. Okay. So we got the Unholy Heat for protection this turn. We got blockers, so we're not getting hit by these Sentinels anymore. Fires up the Inkmoth. Gonna hit us for 1. Sure. Up to 1, in fact. Oh my god, Fury. Oh, we need 1 more mana for that. All right, let's Fury. Pitch Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Oh, that sets up the reanimation, though. What if we pitch Unholy Heat? Maybe we can pitch Unholy Heat. All right, Fury. Pitch Unholy Heat. I think this is fine. Wipe out the Sentinels. Kill the Ornithopter. Because what we're going to do is just blow up the Sigarda's Aid. Now we can blow up the Sigarda's Aid. And now we can play Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Hit you for 2. Actually, hit you for 3. And now this gets rid of the card draw, and it sets us up to reanimate Archon next turn. And once Archon comes up, I think we got him. Springleaf Drum. Memnite, also sure. Opponent just, I mean, they're hammer time without the hammer. Lavinia. Each opponent can't cast non-creature spells. If opponent casts spell no mana, that's fine. That is acceptable. We will discard a Archon of Cruelty, and I expect this just to end the game. Discard Archon, draw a card. Utopia Sprawl. On Renin 6. Get back Verdant Catacombs. Crack Verdant Catacombs, get a Swamp. And now we get the Archon. And that should be, hopefully, game. Archon comes back, kills something. We go to combat. We do a little bit of attacking. Get a treasure, but we still got the Archon. And our opponent's got nothing. They don't have a hammer. They don't have a way to equip a hammer. I think we're where we want to be. I think we're actually like in insane shape. This deck's sweet. I expect we're gonna see more. Decks with Fable the Mirror Breaker, Season Pyromancer, because those 2 cards together actually really good. Really good. Well, opponent never found the hammer, but we'll take a freebie every now and then. Not gonna complain about that. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We have a lot of Blood Moons. That is full-on Blood Moon Tron. I don't think we can keep this. Well, oh my goodness, this ends so risky. You know what? Oh my god, I think we're gonna triple Blood Moon. Do we even want triple Blood Moon? It's so matchup dependent. Like, in some matchups it would be okay. In other matchups, if it's a dead card, we're just pretty much out of. Yeah, I don't think we can keep 3 Blood Moons. As much as oh no, it's getting worse. Betrayed by the magic gods. All right, this will keep Chandra to the bottom, Swamp to the bottom, because we got to draw land anyway to have. Well, we could put Fable to the. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna do this. Well, we got a game plan. We gotta hope and dream. Oh dear, Blood Moon would have done something. Was this an Amulet deck, and we should have kept the 3 Blood Moon hand? Well, at least that's a Blood Moon. Overgrown Tomb Tab. We'll see if it's fast enough on the draw here. We will see about it. Digging up the Urza Saga. They're going to have a lot of amulets here in a minute. Untaps. Wow, this is a really frightening start. This is a matchup we want to play, but if they just have the Oh, geez, what a start, what a draw. We're gonna be dead before we can play a Blood Moon. Well, now we might want to try to not show our opponent what we're doing. Like, we'll see. I mean, we're not doing anything anyway. Oh, do we play the Utopia? I mean, we have to, right? Utopia Sprawl on red. Pass the turn. I mean, if they don't have Primeval Titan this turn, Blood Moon's good. If they have Primeval Titan this turn, then all the Blood Moons in the world aren't going to save us from that. Here comes the bounce land. Opponent's going to make a little bit of mana. Going to make a little bit more of mana. Well, this is what we get for losing the die roll. Hey, it's a bounce land. Going to make a little bit of mana. You know what would stop that? Blood Moon. But we're too slow. Opponent, infinite mana. Cultivator Colossus. Gonna put some lands into play, and they're all gonna, oh my god. This is disgusting. All right, well, opponent gets to untap all those lands. I mean, I think we can safely concede here. Yeah, Blood Moon is, yeah, we can safely concede. Blood Moon is not going to save us from this. Yeah, that was turn 3. That was turn 3. Turn 3, 2 amulets, Cultivator Colossus is, jeez, that was, well, if there was ever a argument for the Primeval Titan decks being overpowered, it might be that game we just witnessed. I think that might be it. That might be the one. We're going to bring in the natural states. Can kill an Amulet, can kill an Urza Saga. Well, the good news is we're on the play. And this is the best Blood Moon matchup. Like, literally the best. Not that it's game over because our opponent has Besagers and blah, 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 puke, puke, puke. But this is the matchup. This is a matchup where you want a Blood Moon. You want to go turn 1 Arbor Elf, turn 2 Blood Moon, and then just laugh at your Primeval Titan player as they play mountains. That's what we would like to do. Whether or not that actually happens, that remains to be seen. We get to play first. You know what? We're going to keep this. We're going to keep this. There's enough upside, I think, that we can keep this. Turn 1 Arbor Elf. Turn 2 Seasoned Pyromancer. Discard the Archons. Go digging for reanimation and so forth. Verdant Catacombs. Forest. Arbor Elf. Opponent Besajuan. Arboreal Grazer. And a bounce land, picks up Besaju, blah, blah, blah. Blood Moon, please. Verdant Catacombs. Well, we will Utopia Sprawl on red. Untap. Mountain. Seasoned Pyromancer. Discard our surprise. Oh, no. Well, we were kind of counting on that to find us a Blood Moon or a way to get back Archon. Oh, well, now I'm regretting not just mulliganing aggressively for a Blood Moon. Opponent, Bajukabog, and passes. Oh my god, that's a Blood Moon. Go to combat, attack you. Oh, the problem is they can Besaju it, so it doesn't actually work. Opponent, gonna block the Seasoned Pyromancer. Well, that's fine, because we can Ren. Snipe the Blazer. Play Wooded Foothills. Pass the turn. Yeah, we can't run it out. We can't run it out with our opponent leaving mana up. Right at the Ilsen Grove. Castle Garenbrig. Turn Timber tap, thankfully. Okay, that makes me feel a smidge better. Wooded Foothills, crack it. Forest. Untap. Verdant Catacombs, crack it. Get a swamp. And natural straight the Dryad. Go to combat. Hit ya. Blood Moon ya. Ren ya. Enjoy your mountains. We know they have Besaju in hand. So if they draw Forest, the Besaju gets rid of the Blood Moon. Prismatic Vesta. Well, go to combat. Attack with everything. Opponent goes to 7. Get back Verdant Catacombs. Play Verdant Catacombs. Pass the turn. Opponent adapts. No Forest. No Forest. Opponent passing. Arbor Elf. Go to combat. Hit ya. Oh my god. Down to 2. Pig ya. Down to 1. Prismatic Vesta. Go. Hold. One more turn. One more turn. One more turn. One more turn. No Forest. Oh, we made it. Okay. We managed to play around. Oh my goodness. We managed to play around the Besaju, thankfully. Oh, opponent tapped down and we got him. We got him. That's the recipe for success, is almost exactly that. That Bajukabog, yikes. That Bajuka Bog. Maybe we want Unholy Heats over Furies. Fury actually seems kind of janky. Well, what does Fury kill? I can kill Dryad, but so can Natural State. Unholy Heat can theoretically snipe a Titan. I don't know if it's likely, but it's possible. Yeah, let's try it. Like one Fury. Bring in the Unholy Heats. The upside of Unholy Heat is it can kill something like Azusa at instant speed, which Fury can't. Hand's not fast, and it doesn't have a Blood Moon. So this is turn 1, nothing. Turn 2, nothing. Turn 3, Fable the Mirror Breaker. I don't know if that's going to do it against our opponent's deck. I think we got a mulligan. All right, well, this will keep. We will put a Persist to the bottom and hope we draw land. A land would be the best. Teleria West. Now, Wooded Foothills, crack it, get a Forest. And Utopia Sprawl on red, go. Opponent. We got the Blood Moon. Oh my god. Untap land. Seasoned Pyromancer. Well, Ren. Get back the land. Wooded Foothills, crack it. Forest. Utopia Sprawl. On red. Pass the turn. Oh, gonna be close. Can they go off here? They don't have a... Okay, Urza's Saga. That's a problem for the future. Oh, Sticking Blood Moon would be so good. Dryad. Cracks the land. Gets a Forest to try to play around the Blood Moon. Opponent passes. All right, well, Ren, get back the land. This is a really, really tricky spot. So we play the Blood Moon. The problem is then we have to kill the Dryad, we have to pitch the Seasoned Pyromancer to the Fury. We can just run out the Fury, but then we're letting our opponent untap with the Urza Saga. I expect the Blood Moon's gonna die, but I feel like it'll be worth it, even just for, it'll kill this, and it'll at least slow our opponent down. I don't like giving up the Seasoned Pyromancer, but all right, I think we have to. Blood Moon. Wooded Foothills. Fury. Sadly pitch the Seasoned Pyromancer. Kill the Dryad. Pass the turn. Okay, not dead yet. All right, opponent did not kill the Blood Moon. Not yet, at least. Gruul Turf as a mountain. Our bigger issue at the moment is we don't really have a clock. And we lost our Seasoned Pyromancer that we actually really did want. Well, tick up the red. Play an Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. Are we about to get tightened? Okay, there it is. Force of Vigor, pitches Endurance. Uh-oh. Yeah, not good enough. Radiant Fountain, Primeval Titan. Not sure how we can get out of this. There's a Primeval Titan. Opponent gets a bunch of lands. I mean, I guess we gotta draw another Blood Moon, like now? Like right now? We can reanimate the Fury, but it's not great. Yeah, well, opponent had the answer. Free spells. Oh, this is kind of a bummer because I feel like this should be like one of our best matchups. But maybe between Beseiju and Force of Vigor, maybe it's not as game over as you'd think. Plus, as we saw in game 1, our opponent's deck can just be so fast. So opponent tutors up a Beseiju to make sure they can kill the next. Oh, and we can't kill this Primeval Titan, so it's just going to keep going. Yeah, this isn't good. This isn't even a little good. Well, get a Blood Crypt. Opponent passes, we draw. Chandra. Well, this works, doesn't it? 1, 2. Oh, this is gonna work. Untap. Well, we're gonna, I think, get through the first Primeval Titan, Chandra. Take it down 4 damage. Persist. Get back Fury. All right, so we survived Primeval Titan number 1. Whether or not this is gonna be enough, there could always be another Primeval Titan. If there's one thing I know about Primeval Titan decks, there's always another Primeval. Oh my god, there really is another Primeval Titan. Colossus? That's also bad. Perhaps worse. I wish it was just a Primeval Titan. Well, opponent is going to draw most of their deck. Jeez, they are really going off here. All right, so opponent, well, that's upside a Colossus in a deck with a lot of lands. More Urza Sagas, they're still going. Oh my goodness, they're still going. All right, so it's a 14/14 that nukes our graveyard. Double Earth, jeez. Well, Cultivator Colossus, quite the magic card. All right, so we're gonna have to run shockingly well here. Opponent gets to pick up some lands. The only like super duper tiny bit of good news is there was no amulet, so all these lands aren't untapping, but I don't know how we how we deal with the 12-12 here. We don't have a card that can just kill him. Oh, they drew into the amulet. So how we could win is somehow, some way, getting an Archon on the battlefield to kill this Colossus. That is our hope and dream. We'll get the tap land, untap. Utopia Sprawl. Utopia Sprawl on black. Wow, it's all going to be up to the Chandra spin, I think. And we got to do it beforehand, or else this isn't going to work. Tap, untap. Well, Chandra. And we're down 2 Archons already, aren't we? So we got 2. Oh, no, that was last game. All right. Well, I mean, this is it. Gotta be exactly Archon for us to be in the game. Can our surprise come through? Take it up. After all that, it was just a land. All right. Well, boom. Retrace, but yeah, now we're just dead. I mean, they can double strike the Colossus and we're literally just dead. I mean, I don't want to be an early scooper. We'll let them actually do it, I guess. If they start to go off and play Primeval Titans or whatever, we will just concede. Well, maybe our best matchup really isn't quite our best matchup. I mean, I guess there are a lot of answers, and that's one of the things that makes me sad as a Blood Moon lover. Not only did they ban Simian Spirit Guide, Blood Moon's best friend, but then, you get Masseju, you get Force of Vigor. That's why, oh, okay, here comes. So opponent's gonna get a Primeval Titan, sure. I mean, we're super dead, so we're just going to concede here rather than watch this combo that we've seen a million times before go off. Primeval Titan, well, I guess I need the Titan. The Titan gets the white mana to turn on Sunhome, and then this is infinite, or like 20-something. Dryad also does it. Doesn't really matter what direction they go. All right, so that, Sunhome, double strike, trample, huge. Opponent saw the line, and we will scoop it up. Wizards, making life hard on us Blood Moon players. I still think this is one of our best matchups. It just didn't quite work out. And it is worth mentioning, there's a million hate cards. There's a million hate cards these days. Sweet. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are Blood Mooning. Blood Moon surprise in Modern this week. Blood Moon that, you never know. Maybe it just randomly persists in Archon of Cruelty. We'll keep this. Basic Island. That's not exactly what you want to see as a Blood Moon deck. Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Stomping Grounds. Untapped. And Arbor Elf. Gil. Going to consider. Sure. So, control of some kind by the looks. Opponent. Island. 2 basic islands. Blood Moon looking worse. This might not be the best Blood Moon matchup. Well, tap, untap, tap, play a swamp, Fable the Mirror Breaker. Please don't counter it. I mean, it could be a combo deck of some kind, I guess. I don't know. 2 basic islands is weird. 2 basic islands and consider turns? I don't even know. I don't know. Something weird. Opponent trying to figure out if they care about our Fable of the Mirror Breaker. All right, not that much. We get our Goblin. We pass the turn. Opponent considers. Leaves it on top. Ottawa. Interesting. Opponent passes. We draw Fury. Discard Fury. And discard Blood Crypt. Get in with the Goblin. Well, I mean, I guess we just start jamming Chandras and hope. Archmage's Charm. Well, let's see if they also have Force Negation. Verdant Catacombs. Crack Verdant Catacombs. Grab a Forest. Tap, untap. Tap. Chandra. Kill our Goblin, unfortunately. Pass the turn. All right, opponent untaps. What is it? Is this a turn deck? It's got to be a turn deck. Mono blue? Mana? Maybe they're mana screwed. I guess that's not impossible that our opponent's just mana screwed. Opponent passes. Well, we get to flip our Fable the Mirror Breaker. Take up Chandra for mana. Seasoned Pyromancer. Opponent's got to have so many counters in hand. Wow, scoops it up. I don't know what our opponent's up to other than missing land drops, but apparently just casting our stuff was good enough that time. Oh, I wish I knew what we were up against. That's a bit of bad news is, like, do we cut Blood Moons? Was that just a weird draw? Is our opponent like a multicolored control deck and just had an awkward draw? Do we cut Furies? I think we're going to go down Furies for Unholy Heats. I don't know if that's, run it like that. I don't even know. We saw blue source, most of them islands, in Archmage's Jar, and some considers. I mean, that makes you think the most likely is some sort of control deck. I don't know what our opponent's doing. Well, okay. Not the fastest hand, but we can keep this. Steam events. All right, so opponent was just color screwed, apparently. I like the Seasoned Pyromancers. So opponent might be a Blood Moon deck as well, which probably means we should have taken out more Blood Moons. Misty Rainforest. Opponent. Passing. Oh, Crackwooded Foothills. Stomping Grounds. Tapped. Untap. Oh, is this Rhinos? Is this like the most color-screwed Rhino deck I've ever seen? Is this a Fire Ice? What is going on? All right, so opponent does ice our land. Well, Prismatic Vesta, go. Mountain. Well, at least we're getting a bit of information now. Actually, we don't even need to crack that yet. Let's just untap. Veil of Summer, not bad. Well, crack Prismatic Vista. Get a Mountain. Vern Catacombs, crack Vern Catacombs. Get a Forest. Ran in 6. Get back a Prismatic Vesta. Pass the turn. Okay, staying alive. Expressive Iteration. How are they trying to kill us? Is this just like Blue Moon? Maybe this is just like, is it control? Well, thankfully we're built around Blood Moon, so Blood Moon's not a real concern for our deck. Opponent passes. There's the Archon, which could be pretty big. So how do we want to do this? We need red, green. Oh, Ren. Get back Vern Catacombs. Play Vern Catacombs. Seasoned Pyromancer. Resolves. Discard Blood Moon. Archon. Yeah, let's just pass. We could play the Utopia Sprawl. Yeah, we'll wait. We're gonna wait till next turn. Let's just pass. Leaving up the Veil of Summer seems reasonable. And now we got a clock at least. Kills our tokens. This makes me worried that this is Through the Breach Emrakul, and our opponent's trying to get rid of permanents. Well, crack Vern Catacombs. Blood Crypt. Tapped. Untap. Well, I think the time has mostly come for us to go for this. Go to combat. Hit you with the Seasoned Pyromancer. Play a Swamp. Utopia Sprawl. The Forest. On red. Or maybe we just wait one more turn? So if they threw the Breach Emrakul, we're in pretty bad shape. But it's only got 2 blue sources. I mean, Persist. Archon. Opponent. Okay, Prismari Command, Loots and Treasures. I mean, this means we don't lose to Emrakul, right? We sack everything, but we get to keep our Archon? Or sack most things, but we get to keep our Archon and then just attack back and our opponent has to sack it. And we have the Veil of Summer for protection, so opponent gets a treasure. Discards a Murktide, discards an Oh, okay, so this is it Murktide? Oh, wow, we're way off. So we get the Murktide. Opponent's got a discard, we get to draw. Ren and 6. Get back a land. And Fable the Mirror Breaker. Resolves Goblin. All right. Well, your go opponent. I mean, we got an Archon. They can definitely have Unholy Heat to kill the Archon. That's a thing. Considers. Land, instant, creature, artifact. Yeah, they definitely have the card types. Does this kind of work? Wow, are they passing? Oh, if they're passing, our life is amazingly wonderful. I mean, we're kind of in insane shape. Opponent. LOLs, and scoops it up. Oh, that was good. That was the surprise coming through. Well, somehow we finished with the 3-2. We get a treasure chest, a little snack for the kids, a little snack for the bear. But we lost to the Primeval Titan deck of all things. Which, if you would ask me heading into this, which deck do you think you should beat? Probably the Primeval Titan decks, but that was one of our losses. Well, anyway, let's crack this one lone treasure chest. 1 of 1. Something good. Complete set. Ooh. Well, that's a fine-looking Magic the Gathering card. I don't think it's worth anything, unfortunately. It's Sushi. It's Sushi, the Blazing Sky, Borderless, Magic Online. It's like $12 in paper. That's something. It's Sushi, the Blazing Sky, Magic Online, promo, 71 big one, 71 cents. Well, I mean, that deck's sweet. I like the Blood Moon surprise, but we'll talk about that in the wrap up. Be right back. So what did we learn this week about Blood Moon surprise in Modern? And record wise, we did pretty well. We ended up 3-2 in our league. If you actually look at our matches, our 3 wins were like pretty easy 2-0s, and then our 2 losses were really close 3-game matches. Sadly, we lost to Amulet Titan, which should be one of our better matchups. But as we have talked about through the intro and through our league, there's a lot of answers now. Like Amulet Titan, even with a Blood Moon out, can tutor up, a Beseiju or something and use that Beseiju to kill the Blood Moon and combo. Also, a Force of Vigor is another one they're playing a bunch of. So those decks are prepared for Blood Moon, and we just weren't fast enough. One of the games, we had the Blood Moon in hand, but we lost the die roll, and we literally couldn't get it down in time before our opponent comboed off. Our opponent had a 18 Cultivator Colossus or something on turn 3, so we were just too slow. So that one was really close. The other one we lost was to Burn, and that kind of makes a lot of sense. Like, if we can get down to Archon, we got a shot because it gains us life and it's really hard for Burn to actually interact with. We saw it one game, our opponent had to spend 2 lightning bolts on it, and then we just reanimated again, and they really got crushed that game. The problem is our sideboard does not have anything for Burn. And if I got one criticism of this deck, I really like the main deck. I think the main deck is really solid. The sideboard, though, I think it could use some more diversity. We have like 6 artifact and enchantment hate spells. We have 4 graveyard hate spells. We got the 2 Veil of Summers and 1 Garruk for some reason. We don't really have much for like combo for Burn style decks. We don't have discard. We don't have ways to gain life. So I think that maybe the sideboard could be improved a little bit. In some matchups, it's great. If we're playing against a deck with artifacts and enchantments, we just like kind of got them because we can bring in like 8 sideboard cards. But in other matchups, against Burn in specific, we're just like, oh, we don't really have anything. So we're just all in on trying to get this Archon into play, which when it works, it's great, but it doesn't always work. So I think that that's one way that I could be improved. Also, shout out to Fable the Mirror Breaker. Wow, that card is good. That card is so powerful. It might look like Seasoned Pyromancer with kind of extra steps where you gotta wait for it to get its value, but really in a lot of scenarios, it's kind of Seasoned Pyromancer with upside, because the backside of Fable the Mirror Breaker, that weird mini Kiki Jiki, is really a must-kill threat. If our opponent doesn't kill that, and we can start copying Furies, copying Seasoned Pyromancers, copying Archons, the value we generate just becomes insurmountable really quickly. The only downside is it's not as good as Seasoned Pyromancer if our hand's empty, because you actually need cards in hand for the rummaging looting thing when Seasoned Pyromancer just refills your hand, but it is every bit as good as Seasoned Pyromancer, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it in Modern. I think people are still sleeping on Fable the Mirror Breaker, and I would not be even a tiny bit surprised if we start to see more decks with Seasoned Pyromancer and Fable the Mirror Breaker, when some decks with Fable the Mirror Breaker just replacing Seasoned Pyromancer. I think this card can be a new Modern staple. So anyway, that's Blood Moon Surprise. That's been our Much Abrew for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.